The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions of WBGR Network.
I'm your conscience. You're in a fight between.
Good morning. I believe we are good to go right now. Welcome back to Charlotte Black Morning Coffee, A New Perspective. How are you guys doing this morning? It has been a little while, hasn't it? It's good to be back. Can you believe it? 2021. Oh my God. Who'd have thought? I mean, you know, we knew it was coming, but wow. The journey here has been phenomenal, to say the least. A lot going on with me since the last time I was on the show. Just so much to talk about, so much has occurred. It's crazy, right? How is everybody doing with this, with the whole pandemic and everything? I know myself, a lot of things have occurred for me, a lot of changes in my life. I moved from one area to another area. Finally decided to, purchase a home and settle down, decided I'm staying on the East Coast. I didn't do it for a long time because, I wasn't sure where I wanted to go. I didn't know, where my journey was going to take me. But anyway, those are just some of the things that took place, since we were last here. I have to admit, I'm a little bit nervous, right? I know I've done this many shows and all of that. But you know what? It never takes away that those butterflies the first time you hop back in the seat. You know what I mean? You're like, okay, is my stuff out? Do I got something in my nose? Is something hanging? It's just crazy. So if I'm a little fidgety, just excuse me for this show, okay? I'm just trying to settle back in. I'm gonna try not to clink all my jewelry all over the place, but just trying to, settle back in and get this good topic out, get these good words out. So, where to start? Well, I've been on a journey. Let's start there. I know that on the last show, you guys, kind of heard me talk a lot about, spirit and energy and things like that, and that's come full blown for me. I've had a lot of my spiritual gifts come in. I know people are like, spiritual gifts, what is she talking about? We'll get to that. We won't get too deep into it this show, but just a lot of gifts come in. I started on a new journey. Of course, I still love doing this, and this was a blessing. It came right when, just right at the right time. This is the perfect time for this to happen. So this was really good to bring the show back. Started doing energy healing, and that's been very it's been very good, and it's been very powerful. A lot of miraculous stories come out of that, and it was just a blessing to uncover and find that gift. I don't know, it's been good. It's been real good. It's been real good. Okay, so a lot of people that have joined my journey, a lot of people that have left my journey, people who were meant to be on my path are still on it, and new people have joined it, and those who were not meant to be here, they left the path. They have, gone on to their own journeys. And you know what, let me just stop and talk about that. And I'm trying not to get into the topic too soon, but a lot of times, when people come on our journey and they leave, something happens right out the blue, and we're like, oh, what the hell, whatever. Sometimes it's just meant for that to happen. It doesn't make them bad. It just means that it was time for them to move, in the direction of whatever their path is, whatever their goals are, and your path no longer aligns, so you end up going separate ways. So that happened for me, and that was, I blessed them and send them love and light. It was a good journey, while it lasted. All right, COVID-19. Oh my God. First of all, let me just say, my heart goes out to all of you who have, suffered loss at the hands of COVID-19. It's never easy losing a loved one, and I know a lot of them were sudden, and I just want to, send out my condolences to everyone who's suffered from it or lost anybody from it. But I have to tell you, for me, COVID was not all bad. Again, just like I've said in other shows, a lot of this is about perspective, right? More people learned who they were during this COVID pandemic season than any other time. You can't deny that. Because when you're in the hustle and the bustle of day-to-day every life, you're just going and going and going and going. You don't take a breather. You're almost like a robot. You get up, you fix the coffee, you get the kids ready or whatever, right? You got this routine and you get in it. And you barely have a chance to really embrace your moment, to embrace how you're feeling or what you're thinking. Most people just keep going on this like rat wheel or whatever. So again, that's kind of how things have been going. And to me, COVID slowed that whole thing down because now we didn't have to get up and we didn't have to run into that routine. So to me, that was good. The other thing is, it was a time of reflection too for people. You know what I mean? It gave you a moment to reflect upon your life, where you are, where you've been, and where you want to go. Now, honestly, I'm sure not everybody took that opportunity, but I hope that most people did. It was an opportunity to kind of see where you are, to readjust, to say, hey, you know what? I really wanted to do this, but am I doing it? So it was an opportunity for that. Also, people couldn't do a whole bunch of creeping with the COVID either. So that kind of shut that party down, right? Anybody that was out there doing things that were, a little unsavory, tiptoeing, you know what I'm talking about? You ain't have no excuses when COVID came about. I mean, where you going? You going to where? Okay, it's a pandemic. Yeah. So I know that forced you to not be able to hide. Well, it made it so that you couldn't hide, right, from your issues in your home with your children. I know a lot of people found out about their children. When you got to school your own kids, you learn some interesting things, don't you? You get them all dressed up, give them their little lunch. All right, baby. Give them their kisses, put them on the bus. You don't see them again until after work. But you thinking, and when the teacher calls and says, oh, so-and-so, little Johnny, or little Paul, little Susan, little Kim, they all acting crazy. You tripping and, not my child and all that. But when the pandemic hit, you had to teach your own children, and you had to deal with them on a different level. And now you get to see, you've been able to see what the teachers have been talking about for some of you, right? You take it where it resonates. It doesn't apply to everyone, but it applies. And what it gave you a different perspective on what the teacher faces, what her challenges are. Some kids, the attention span it just wasn't on point. They couldn't get it together. But anyway, I'm not trying to get too deep into that. It was just, the point of it is that it gave you an opportunity to really see what was going on in your life. It was a pause, if you will, right? And everyone needs a pause. And, you'll hear me say on this show a lot, spirit, God. It's not a religious show, but I'm a spiritual person, and I have to be true to myself. I have to be authentic within myself. And I connect all day, every day. They probably tired of me. Like, you know what? Could this Charlotte Blackwood talking to us? I mean, baby, just take a break. You want to go outside, do something else. But I talk to them all day, every day. They here right now. I just want to let you know. So, anyway, it was an opportunity to take a pause. And, I would tell, in my spiritual community, I would tell people, the spirit is the only one I know that could put the whole world on pause. Just I tickle myself. But for real, they're the only ones that can do it. If the government had come and said, hey, listen, everybody just sit down for a few minutes and we go, we're going to be back. Ain't nothing going on. We just need you to be still. People would have been like, what? I got to get my chips. Ain't nobody trying to hear about no pause. But a pandemic. Oh, baby, that'll make you sit down, won't it? Yeah. So anyway, you just kind of have to take this thing, kind of lightheartedly. I know that's easy to say, but you do. We have two choices. We can look at the positive aspect of it, or we can look at the negative aspect of it. Most people, of course, are looking at the negative aspect. Why? Because we're used to embracing the negative stuff. But I encourage you and challenge you to look at the positive aspect of it, which is, what opportunity does this bring me, right? What opportunity does this bring me? What can I do in this pause that I couldn't do, when we were in motion? Because it's going to pick up. Life is going to pick up. Businesses are going to come back online. Everything is going to happen. So take this moment. It's an opportunity. Take it and use it to do something that you wouldn't ordinarily do. And we're going to get a little bit more of that. We're going to get into that a little bit more in the show after the commercial break. The next thing I want to talk about, though, before we go there, is the president, soon to be former president. I know nobody wants to hear about it, but I have to say this. My only comment about that is, listen, I didn't vote for the president either, but at the end of the day, he was our president for a time, right? And what I submit to you is, while you're doing all this finger pointing, oh, he sucks, he don't care about the people, look at how he treats this, look at how he does this, he should have did this different. I would like to say, look at it from a different perspective. This is what I'm trying to offer, a different perspective. We all saw his behavior. We all have our own thoughts about his behavior. Use that as a platform to look at your own behavior. You are the president of your life. You are the president of your household. You're the presidents and first ladies of your household, of your life, of your world. And what I'm saying is, take an opportunity and see how you behave in your life. You know what I mean? Because it's easy to be talking about other people. Isn't it easy to talk about other people? It is. It's so easy to identify all the misgivings and mishaps and, untruths and all of that of other people. But when it comes time to look at yourself, that's when we have the difficulty. So I'm saying, whatever it is that you notice most in him, what irritated you most in him, take that time and use him as a reflection to look at yourself to see if you behave this way. What am I doing in my life that's like, do I look like that when I'm in, is that how I treat my family? Is that how I treat myself? Is that how I treat other people? I think that it is an opportunity to reflect on who we are. Because one thing I can say about the president is, he was authentically himself. He didn't care if he was on CNN, in the White House, in his own house. He was always who he was. And so I'm just saying, we should all embrace who we are. But I'm saying, take inventory of your own storehouse. Take inventory of your own behavior. And, just try to be better. So I think that's all that I have to say about that. We're going to take a short break and a short commercial break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to get into the show. The topic of the show today is embracing life or holding it hostage. So I have a special guest and friend of mine I've known a long time, who I'm going to bring on the show just to sit and chit chat with me. It just makes it easier, guys. I like having the host and talk about their stories and get their input and their perspective. It's good. It's all good. So anyway, when we come back, we're going to get into this. All right? See you in 5.
I'm your conscience. You're in a fight between will and skill. I say will first because that's where you are. You locked and loaded with skill. You practicing every day. You putting in your work. You buying everything. You making the investment. You living your dream. You walking like your dream. You surrounding yourself around your dream. You got mentors, everything. You putting your work in. You got your skill. Now it's a test of your action of making progress is progress. The push itself, the fight. You get up and swing and miss. That's progress. You get up and you run at what you want with everything you got and you miss. That's progress. The effort of making the attempt is progress.
Hey there, were you raised in the 90s? If you said yes, you've probably been called digital natives, innovators, entrepreneurs, and for sure, millennials. Maybe you don't believe in labels. Yeah, that's not you. But you are one thing for sure.
Arguably, the more important part of it is the fact that you are being the role model for the future generations.
You are reinventing the world.
Me? Yeah, you.
You may be lost at this point, and that's fine. But remember, find your purpose in life. Not your parents, not your friends.
Not what your teachers think, not what society thinks is important, but like listen to your gut and your heart and think about what it is you want to do.
And make sure it's the one.
I think a lot of us, we're amazed. What an amazing time to be alive.
Start a revolution. Your revolution. Work hard. Play hard.
If I had not persevered and follow my passion, I would not have been able to make use of my talent.
Enjoy the journey. Inspire and get inspired.
I also learned that you have to be persistent and prove yourself.
Let your purpose in life always guide you.
And if you hustle to pursue what is meaningful to you now, you will change your life, you will change the lives of others, and you will change the world.
Together, we can make a difference.
It's your time to make a difference. What are you going to do? Create the world you want to live in.
2, 1. Hey everybody, welcome back. And I would like to welcome my guest, PL Dates, in the building.
Thank you for having me.
He got his fly shades on. What? Listen, that's what I'm talking about.
I was actually stumbling around in the parking lot. They asked me to come in. So.
How you been?
Fine, doing well. Glad to see 2021. Glad to see 2020 gone. Looking for something better.
Absolutely.
Hopeful, prayerful, looking forward for the best of it. I mean, it was. I gotta admit, I don't know about everybody else. I tried to find ways to make it work for me.
Yeah.
And I did. I found some ways that made it work for me. I mean, I'm sorry for the losses of others. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I had losses. I just had a family member just passed.
Absolutely.
But other than that, and I understand that that's a transformation of life, so I don't have the issues with it that other people have.
Right. I understand
on a lot
that.
of levels, it's supposed to be a celebration. I try to put it there.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm looking for 2021 to be the straight bomb. Believe that.
Do you hear me?
That's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
And in fact, I'm not looking for it. I insist that it be the bomb.
I heard that.
The powers that be know it better be hot. After what happened last year, when you're at the bottom, you can't go nowhere but up. I mean, we lost just about everything, so it's got to get better.
Exactly. We got to make it the bomb. Yeah, that's what we got to do, right?
Well, you have what you say you have.
That's right. So, I'm throwing a big party. I'm getting it.
I'm going to be standing back producing the party because I'm going to make money. So y'all can dance. And when people are dancing, I'm making money. So that's cool for me.
Hey, I'm good with it. As long as we have a good time, that's all that matters.
Indeed.
That's it. Because you know what happens is because a lot of times we don't celebrate the way that we used to. You remember back in the day, they used to have like the joints every Friday night. Somebody was doing like a fish fry,
right,
or whatever, and then they had this big party in the basement. Like people everywhere. What's that? There's a movie.
House party?
No.
You said people in the basement of the party. I mean.
No. It was I can't think of the name. I can't think of it. It'll come to me. But it was a show about this town in New York, and this lady, she had like a boarding house.
Okay.
And she would.
Bruce's place?
No. I know somebody out there knows exactly what I'm talking about. I just can't call the name right now. I love that movie. But it was the same concept, right?
Okay.
Back in the day, people trying to save money, she trying to make rent, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And she just opened her home up and just made it a big party. Like every Friday night, they were showing up in their shoes. They wasn't bad shoes.
Okay.
They were suited and booted and dressed and ready. And they would go to this house. They get their little dance on, they eat their little fish or whatever. It was cool.
I mean, I think the simple things make a party best. I think we've gotten too far into everything has to be strobe light and the stripper pole and this, that, and other. Sometimes when you look back at it, most of the parties that we had as children, most of the parties that we had, the children that we participated in when our parents was partying, it wasn't really no whole lot. You don't need a whole lot. The kitchen table, they had some liquor in there, some beer, whatever, and they had something to eat, some potato salad, whatever, and they put some records on. Somebody kept bumping into the record player, but whatever it was, they ended up having a good time at the end of the day.
And at the end of the day, that's all it is about.
It is.
We have gotten away from celebrating, and it's all about, I gotta work, gotta make this money, But what's the use of money if you're not enjoying it?
I agree.
I understand about stacking your bills. Get it? I get it. However, you know what I'm saying? You just stack all this money and then Corona hits. I'm just keeping it real, right? I'm gonna, and now you're gone and your money is still sitting there. This is what I'm saying. This was kind of a call to our attention, man.
I think so.
Live in the moment.
I think so. I think that it's always good to plan. It's always good to know that a rainy day is coming, but at the same time, smell the roses here and now, because you're going to be underneath them in a minute. So
That's right.
At the end of the day, if this didn't get your attention and let you know to savor every moment, plan for the rainy day, but savor the moment and really enjoy the simple things. If this didn't get your attention for that, then you really missed the boat on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You really missed the boat on it.
Absolutely.
Because it showed you on every level there was a reason that you wish you had done something different. Either because somebody passed and you didn't tell them what you wanted to tell them,
right?
Or there was something you were planning to do and it never happened. I know I had a friend that I was planning a big surprise party for. Had sent tickets all over the place, was flying people in from Dallas. Everybody was coming in. They was going to stay at the golf place. Everything was set up, and guess what? The Corona hit and none of that happened. And I didn't get a lot of those deposits back either. I want to be clear about that. But I didn't get a lot of those deposits back. Some of you business people, man, look, and they said that Corona didn't constitute a big enough situation for me to get the money back. I'm like, well, other than the earthquake and the building falling in, you can't. And this is what they told me. No, we'll just keep your deposit. You'll throw it at a later date. No, I won't. I lost the feeling for it now. But I just want to tell you, if this pandemic came and went, and I'm not saying it's over with, but if it came and went and you haven't found a reason to celebrate and feel good, you completely missed the boat.
Yeah, absolutely.
You completely missed the boat.
Absolutely. But there's still opportunity, though. There's still opportunity, guys. There's still opportunity. It's not too late. It's just that it gave us the opportunity to do it. We're still in the pandemic.
We are.
We are.
But
I'm just saying it gave us it's giving us an opportunity, and we still have that. It's a call to wake up.
It is.
It's a wake-up call. It really is. And to just really embrace your life, embrace this moment, So, and that's really what the topic of the show is. The show is about embracing life and not holding it hostage. So, of course, you guys know how I do, right? I normally have my little notes and stuff and jot it down, but I just from the hip, because to me, it's organic, it's
real. I didn't get any notes.
Yeah, you were not supposed to.
Okay.
Yeah, the notes are for me. You just.
I want to be clear about something here. I was told when I came up here there was going to be refreshments. I mean, that's one of the things that enticed me to this. Is right around that time, I thought there were going to be refreshments. I had one guy out here, Deshaun Hawkins. This guy offers me a bottle of water. Is that what you call refreshments? So, let's be clear. I ain't got no notes. I ain't got no refreshments. So she claims she's doing it off the cuff. I'm really doing it off the cuff.
Listen, you got my viewers looking at me like, but she got a cup?
Oh, wow. You know what? I thought that was some type of speaker. Now I'm really offended. I thought that was some type of speaker or microphone. Now that I see that she got a cup, we're going to definitely talk about this after the fact. Management? I was not giving refreshments. It was in the contract.
Don't do it.
It was in the contract.
It was not. We don't have a contract. Okay, we're going to talk about that offline because, we don't want...
I want some grapes. I'm on some Beyonce right now, and I want some grapes.
But let's get into the topic.
Okay,
so embracing life or holding it. So one of the things that I was, as I was doing my research and trying to get into, the show and figuring out what topic I was bringing today, I came upon something. I'm going to read it. It says, are you embracing your experiences? Life is a series of experiences, or holding them hostage. Are you loving and embracing the experience or stuck in it?
I'm stuck in it.
And then another concept that I ran across was letting go is not letting go, it's setting free. If it's really painful, it's probably attachment, which is not love. Instead, it's ownership and control.
I'm stuck in it.
Okay. He just pulled out his pager. I'm going to give y'all a moment.
This is on and working. For those of you who still know how to work it, don't call me unless you have a code. I'm stuck in it. She asked the question. I am
Perfect
stuck
example.
In it. Well,
but let's talk about that, though.
Okay.
Let's talk about it. So, if that's... what are your thoughts about that? Do you think there's anything wrong with it. From my perspective, right? From my perspective, you have to move with the times. And I think I'm talking more from a belief system perspective versus, your 19, I don't even know what year that is, pager. I'm talking about like belief systems, right?
Okay.
So, perfect example, no offense to anyone. I hope no one takes this as offensive. In the Bible it talks about cover your head. I think a lot of people think that means put a hat on. Okay, that's fine. But if you broaden your perspective, it means cover your thoughts, because what you think about, you bring about. There's a deeper meaning to that.
I got some issues with some of that. And I'm going to say that because some of the songs that I was hearing when I was in church, one of them was God's Unchanging Hand. I don't know how much I agree with that, because I think God's hand does change. I think it's the same God that's always been there, the same spirit that's always been there, the same understanding that's always been there. But I just don't think, personally, that the same deity that opened the waters and let them walk through on dry land is the same deity, exactly the same, with the same unincreasing mind of today. I think that mind has increased. I think that God does change. I think that we should change and adjust. We should not throw the baby out with the bathwater, but we should make some adjustments. Because no matter what religion you look at, there's been some adjustments. I know for a lot of Muslim guys at one time, the thing was they had to pray like many times a day, and then eventually it got adjusted that now they pray 5 times a day because it was just too much for the people to do. So I don't care if you look at Islam, if you look at Christianity, if you look at spirituality, if you look at however you want to take it, there has been some adjustments. So I think that in the adjustment, don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. So keep what's working, right, but be mindful that the day is different.
Okay. So I agree with you on that, but I do think that there is an element that is always unchanging. I agree. There is an unchanging element, an element that always remains the same. However, I think that, and I don't really, I really don't want to get too much into religion per se, but the concept of what you're saying, there is an unchanging element. However, our perspective as we grow has to shift with the time. If your perspective never changes, you're not growing, because growth requires movement.
It does.
And if there's no movement, there's no growth.
I agree with that. I just want to make sure that movement maintains adjustment. You can adjust. You don't have to change everything. And I think that's what our people do sometimes. We get on something good and say, let's do some changes. It's a new year. We're going to do things different. You throw everything out.
Well, no one's saying that. Like I said, there's always an unchanging element.
Right.
But you can always build on what's working.
Give me a good unchanging element for you. Something you think is a good example of one unchanging element that shouldn't be adjusted. See, I put that back on her. That's because I didn't get the
security, I need you to come get the guest, because he is not
as long as you escort me out of here with a Twinkie. Don't throw me out of here with nothing. Throw me out with what you said.
Okay, for instance, like the technological world. Oh no, let's go with what I know best. Let's go with energy.
Okay.
Let's go with energy healing. That's my area.
She really believes that she comes out of a bottle in the morning. I keep trying to tell her, you got it together. You're channeling all the right things, but be mindful. Everybody ain't there yet. So don't forget the little ones that's still kind of working with it.
Oh Lord, what he's talking about is me explaining what all that, what it means, what Reiki means is what he's talking about. But I wasn't going deep into Reiki. I was just really talking about energy in general, but we'll go there.
Okay.
So, back in the day, right, people had these special gifts, right? They had all of these gifts, and they were afraid to use them. Some people used them with ill intent. Some people used them with good intent. But the fact was, they had this kind of power, right?
Okay.
Where they could heal or whatever, or they talk to spirit through, cards or rocks or crystals or whatever. Well, that was really foreign to people in that time. And people looked at that as being evil.
On some witchy poo.
On some witchy poo, yes. And so people were being hung for that back in the day. They were hanging them. Oh, you're a witch, and they would hang. Right? But today, we're using that same power. Nothing has changed. It's the same as it's always been. But people's understanding of what energy is, and that it surrounds us, and that we're all energetic beings. Like science is talking about it. Everybody is talking about how we're energetic beings, and all these different discoveries, you know, in the medical field, and how energy works, and how it moves, and how it propels the cells, and all these things, and vibration, and how sound therapy works, and all these things, right?
Right.
And so now our mindset has shifted to be more open to it. That's probably...
Some have.
Well, some have, but it's been more embraced. But you said give an example of the shift. I'm talking about the shift.
Okay.
Not everybody's going to be on the same page at the same time.
Right.
However, I'm talking about the shift. We've moved from being in the dark about it being this unknown, mysterious, scary thing, to now there's more light shed on it. And now it's not so scary, right? And I'm just going to put him out there. You've received Reiki. And
Well,
you yourself have seen, you know, and I have to tell you, when
I
you
gotta be clear about that. Wait a minute. I gotta be clear about that. Now, we're not opposing sides, but we don't see it exactly the same way.
I get it.
Because we don't see it the same way. And I'm gonna say that because for those of us that are not on the same page as of yet, they're thumbing through the pages. We're getting used to the pages. Open. Mindset is open.
Right. But that's all that's required.
No, because sometimes we're made to feel like outsiders. Because you get around people and they say, you know what? I ain't like the way that person walked out here. Their whole energy was bad. You know, you go to an interview, you don't get the job, you call back and say, hey, you know, I was curious as to how the interview went. Well, you know, you have the qualifications, but, you know, energy was a little off. You know, there are people that kind of prostitute that to the non-knower. So,
well, it's true.
Wait a minute. So it turns the person who was just had an open mind and was just willing to get with it.
Right.
Now they're saying, oh wow, if it's like that, I could just keep it moving. So I just think that for those who are ingratiated with it, who have a greater understanding, need to constantly and perpetually be patient with those other people that are just coming along. And sometimes they drop it on you like a bomb. It's like, listen, I'm gonna hit you with these stones. I'm burning this sage. I'm banging a gong. And you better be with it. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Well, okay, let me just pause you right there.
Right.
Okay. First of all, we're going too deep.
Okay.
Because that's not where we're trying to go with this topic.
I just want to be honest. For the newcomer.
No, but it's valid, everything that you're saying. It is. And let me just tell you about that, and we're going to move on. Okay. Because I don't want to get too deep into that. What he's talking about is the way that people use what they know. Their intention. And sometimes the intent is not ill, right? But they use the term so loosely that a person who's not educated in what energy is and how it works, they can be, scarred, lost, feel a little jaded behind it because of the way that it's used and the way that it impacts them. So just be mindful that everybody that talks about energy is not really fully educated on what that means. And they may use the terms loosely, which causes people to feel a certain kind of way. I always encourage people to, research it yourself. Look Reiki up. Look it up. If you're interested, look into what that is. It's not a secret. It's out there.
Right. You
can find it on the internet. You can look up what is energy. What is the electromagnetic field, which is what we heal, right? That's the around us. Look it up. What are chakras? These are things you can look into. But all I'm saying is, as life evolves and as our world evolves and as we move, further along our journey as a humanity, we become more open to things we had not been open to or things we had not been privy to. We start understanding and gaining knowledge about things that have been hidden, to us for years and years and years and years. We start gaining understanding. And with that takes us into a new age. We're entering into a new age. Yeah. When technology first came on board, everybody was like, oh. But it was a shift, right? It was a learning curve. We learned it. We're in it. Now we're all in that thing. Right, well, except Mr. P.L. Dates, of course.
Still doing it. And the only reason I'm still doing this is because the bill's paid up. I mean, I got to get my money's worth out of this. They had this special one time, 10 years for this, and I took it. And I'm sticking with
it. Well, you keeping it real about that. Okay, so the really important thing that I really want to get across about all of that is Just don't be so stuck in a mindset that you're not open, like you said, right? Be open to embrace it. You don't, everything is not for everybody. And I get it. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, don't get stuck, because becoming stuck creates attachment. And when you become attached and you become stuck, things can't flow. And if things can't flow, what's meant to come to you can't get to you because you're stuck. If you can imagine, right, you got this big tube, right, and you've got this ball that's become lodged in this particular place because it's comfortable there, and you're pushing this liquid or whatever is coming through, it's trying to flow through, and all of a sudden it's getting blocked up. And so it's just getting blocked up for miles and miles and miles, or however far it goes, right? And eventually, when it has nowhere else to back up to, it starts expanding and getting big, 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 until, you know, either it blows or it doesn't, or, you know, the energy has to go somewhere. It has to go somewhere. So it's either going to explode or something's going to happen to relieve that pressure. Without really getting too deep into that, because, you know, that's going to come in later episodes. You know, set the ball free. Just try something new. That's all I'm saying. Try something new. Open your perspective. Open your mind to something new. Shift one thing in your life. In your daily process. Change one thing. Do something you never do. Well, I always get up and I make coffee and I get on the machine in the basement. Well, today, instead of making coffee, make some tea and go for a walk out in nature. Just walk the neighborhood. Just walk it. Something different. It's just a shift. It brings newness and freshness to your life. Watch how your day unfolds. Just shift one thing that you know, just shift out of your routine. Do one thing you would never do. Right? Just one thing.
I agree with that. I agree with being open for change and change. One little thing in your day can make a great adjustment. Man. I agree with that concept.
Absolutely. And be authentic. That's the other thing, you know, I want to make sure I cover. You have to be authentic in who you are. For this 2021 year, I challenge everybody to do that. To be yourself. Listen, if you like sporting your pager, you sport that pager with pride. Do you hear me?
Beeper.
Okay, pager, beeper. My bad. I'm sorry. Okay.
Pages have numbers. Beepers just make noise.
Oh, excuse me. I thought that was a pager. Okay. Okay, so the point is, just do you and embrace you. A lot of times people don't understand who we are as people, unless we tell them, obviously. You know, we show them who we are.
And they do that.
Yeah, and I'm going to use my own story. You know, there are a lot of people who are watching that are viewing right now who know me, right? But they know me from different perspective. Each person knows me from a different time in my life, right? Some people out there know me as this singer that was, you know, doing her thing or whatever. You know, some people might know me as, you know, I don't know, an asshole. I don't know. Maybe
as a writer.
Some people know me as a writer, but I'm just saying the point is not everybody sees me in good light, but everybody has their own vision of me.
Right.
But it's up to me to shine and be who I am. And because when I'm happy, I spread my happiness out, and then people get to see who I am. People don't just know automatically. You have to share it. Like, people didn't know. There's a lot of people out there that are surprised, like, Denise does, you know.
Please, women, I want you to constantly spread your happiness out.
Right. Charlotte does,
everyone will appreciate it.
Don't listen to him. You know, I can't. Anyway.
She said it.
Charlotte does.
Spreads her happiness out, and everyone's happy. And I want everybody listening, all my sisters, to please consider that. Think about it. Take a moment after the shower. So, you know what?
Okay.
I'm not going to keep all this happiness to myself.
I'm done. Thank you. Sometimes I have to be careful.
That's what happens when you don't provide the refreshments that you promised.
So what I'm saying is, you know, like I do the Reiki, and a lot of people don't know that, and they don't know that unless I share it, and I'm sharing it right now. So I do the Reiki healing. I do it distance. I do it. People come to my house, and I have a table, and I do spiritual counseling, and I do use cards. I use spiritual oracle cards. Yes, I do. I'm not evil. I've never been evil. I embrace the light. I embrace love. I embrace God. That's who I am. That's who I've always been. Some people will be open to it and some people won't. It's your choice. It's your choice, but that's who I am. You either love me where I'm at or you just leave me. And that's the way you got to be. You can't be afraid to stand in your authentic self. For a long time I did not say anything about that because you just never know how people are going to take you. I was raised in a very with a Christian background, just going to church and all of that, and a lot of the people who listen to me and follow me, are still in the church, and that's fine. No one's asking you to leave your belief. It's just saying, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
I said that.
And so, actually, I spoke with a minister, and she told me that too. And she was like,
first on the show.
She said you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater, and it's true, you can't. So, I just want you to take away from this show today is, just kind of stand and embrace who you are, and don't be afraid or ashamed of showing that. Of course, you could just bust out tomorrow and be like everything you are, but it starts with doing things that make you happy and things that you enjoy. And so, that's kind of the message. Today is just, about embracing life. Embrace life, enjoy it. When it's time for the moment to pass, set it free. Let it go. You know what I mean? Just let it go and embrace what's coming new. Because life is meant to flow, not to stay stagnant. And better things are coming. Better things are coming. You just have to believe it and kind of stand in that. All right. I can feel him like right here. What is it, Mr. Dates? What would you like to add?
I just want everybody to take heed to some of the things she said, but I'd like to inject this into it also. I think we need to go forward with emotional nudity. Let's let the baggage go. Let's let the hard times go. Let's let the grudges go.
Absolutely.
Let's let the hurt feelings go. Let's let the bad relationship go. Let's let the she did this, he did that go. Let's try to go into this new year emotionally nude.
Yes.
Let's wipe off all the chalk off the chalkboard, get the sponge like we did in the 5th grade and clean it all the way down and be open for the new situation.
What you said?
Because if you taking some of that old chalk, some of that old baggage, some of that old heavy jackets and coats, if you still got all of that over your spirit, you're not going to be able to receive the new thing. Because if I got rained on in this jacket, my arm wouldn't get wet. So if the rain that was coming down for you was some good spiritual juice and you got a jacket on, you're not going to get it. You're going to get little bits and pieces of it. So I want us to all go forward with emotional nudity in this new year. Just be honest with yourself. Because one thing is, ain't no use in none of us acting like we real big and got no whole bunch of dough and this, that, and the other. I mean, if you do happen to have that, God bless you. But for everybody else, the years of looking down to somebody because of what they got on and you ain't wearing the right brand.
That's over.
That's over. Because guess what? This COVID has shown you that none of that is going to keep you from where you're eventually going to go anyway.
Exactly.
So in embracing that, let's just go forward with emotional nudity, please.
Well said, Mr. Dates. And just to caveat that, one thing you said I really liked was it doesn't matter who you are, what you have. Because at the end of the day, we're going to face the same
situation.
The same situation. Do you understand? We are going to face the same situation. And you can have all the money in the bank that you want, but is your heart right? Is your spirit right, though? Have you been loving on people? Have you been hating on people? Have you been creating chaos? Or have you been trying to bring forth peace and harmony? It's all about balance. That's what energy is about. Energy is about balance. And when things are out of balance, guess what happens? The universe, spirit, God, whoever you pray to or like to call it, the source of all things will bring it back in balance. You can be on board or you can be not on board. You're either going to ride the wave or be swept up by the undercurrent. Your choice. But it's going down. So it's better to prepare yourself and to get yourself right, to stand in this celebration of life, to stand in the things that make you happy. Who wants to live a whole nother year miserable? Because you brooding about some stuff that happened 30 years ago. If you don't know what it is, get to the bottom of it. Start taking inventory of your own behavior so that you can get yourself in balance and enjoy this miracle called life.
I mean, real talk, because I just want to say this, and I know it may offend some people, but it's honest. You know, a lot of people passed this year. Some of them we knew, some of them we didn't know personally. Some of them were a homeless guy you walk past, never even thought about it. You ain't seen him no more. You don't realize that he's passed. Some of them were iconic figures like Kobe Bryant, and the whole world knew about it. I mean, we've had actors, singers, all types of people that passed. But guess what? One thing has been constant. This world kept right on going on without them. Absolutely. And it's going to keep going on without you. So what your job is to do for yourself, enjoy each day, enjoy each moment. Because whatever you didn't get done, it's not going to get done.
That's
so
right.
What you got something you want to do, you got a dream, you got an ambition, you got a hope, you got a desire, something you've been wanting to do, thinking about doing, praying about doing. I'm waiting for the right time. I'm waiting for the right economic moment. I'm waiting for the job to do this. Man, don't wait. Go ahead and do it right now, because as it says, tomorrow isn't promised. You know what I'm saying? Your name could be called at any moment. So
Absolutely. Have
an open mind, be open to warm, loving relationships, love on those who are around you, loving on you, and let the past be exactly where it's at, over your shoulder, behind you.
Exactly. I want to interject. Not interject, but I want to drop another seed on you, just something for you to kind of marinate on. A lot of times in these situations, right, we want people to, well, I could do this if so-and-so would just do this, or if so-and-so could do that. Let me tell you this. You cannot control what other people do. You don't need someone else's permission to tell you who you are or what you can do. If you're a writer, write every day. If you're a singer, sing every day. Create your album. All this technology out here, you don't need a record deal to create an album and get it out there. You don't need it. You can be and do whatever you want to do. And stop waiting for other people to do what you want them to do. And stop trying to manipulate people into doing what you want them to do. They have their free choice. You have your free choice. Everybody has free will. We're all born with the same thing. If they don't want to get on board, fine. Find another way to do it. You can't make them do it. Release the outcome. The only thing that you can do is position yourself. You put the information in front of them. Hey, this is what I'd like. This is where I'm trying to go. They're going to either say yes or no. You don't have to prostitute yourself emotionally, physically, mentally. None of that.
Don't hold yourself out.
Exactly. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that, because the people who see the value in you will see it. They will see it and they will honor it. If they're not seeing it and they're not honoring it, well, then maybe you need to change your perspective. But most importantly, you have to see and honor your own goodness, your own talents, yourself. You have to honor yourself. So don't become a victim to other people. Don't become a victim of circumstances. That's not what you're here for. You're here to enjoy this life and shine and be the best you can be. We're all born uniquely for a reason, because we're meant to operate in our uniqueness. Stop trying to go with the status quo. Stop trying to be like everybody else. Be your own unique you. This is the time. This is the time. 2021 is the time.
I got to say this, and I just want to be honest about it. And people know me from all over. I've had a storied life, and like I said, people know me from many different walks, many different situations. One thing about me, I'm going to put it where it is. I'm going to be honest about it. You know, she's done these shows for quite some time. She's had host, co-host. She's done it by herself. Even all the way up to today, she's like, you know what? I'm rocking with it. I'm doing my thing. And she doesn't let anything stop her from her eventual goal. Her goal is to put out a show today, and that's what she's going to do. And she's like, listen, if I have to go get a homeless guy from the corner, like she found me, I'm still going to do my show. You know what I'm saying? I'll go get this little homeless bald guy and promise him a hamburger, and he'll do the show.
My God.
But I'm saying, I'm being honest about the fact that what she is saying to you, she is walking in her own truth, and she is actually living it, because I've seen it happen. So for everybody, man, don't let nobody hold you back from what you got to do. I'm not waiting on anybody else to do anything. If I'm going to do what I'm going to do, I'm going to do it. If they're in the way, I got to get around them. You know what I'm saying? And I use prayer, but you use whatever you want. But I got to get around them, over them,
Absolutely.
under them. Don't let a situation or a circumstance, and for God's sake, don't let it be an individual to stop you from getting to your greatness. It's there for you, but you got to want it bad enough to sacrifice, and you got to want it bad enough to prepare, and you got to want it as bad as you want your next breath of fresh oxygen. And if you want it that bad, it's there for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, nothing happens in one moment. You know, we always want to, well, I want to be rich tomorrow. Well, you know, sometimes it takes time. It happens like that for some people. I'm not saying that it won't, right? Because miracles happen every day. They really do. But you just take one step towards your goal every day. You know, I understand you got the kids and the house and the job and all that stuff. I got it. But you can write one page in your book for your book that you want. Write one page. You can sing do 1 hour of recording or whatever it is. Just step by step. Eventually you will be there. You know, sometimes that's how we have to do it. Everybody doesn't have the freedom to go in the studio and be in there for 2 weeks and knock their album out. Not everybody. You know what I mean? But if you got that time, great. If you don't, you still can achieve your goal. All right, y'all, we are getting close to the end of the show, and I don't want to forget this mindfulness movement that I want us to begin today. You ready?
I'm always available. if you're providing lunch.
Listen, I'm gonna have to feed this brother for real because if he say lunch one more time, y'all, I promise you.
I was told about refreshments.
You're gonna see me pass out on the ground. I'm gonna pass out.
That's an energy drink. She's sipping on an energy. What do I have in front of me? Am I supposed to kiss this ring? No, it's not coffee. It's an energy drink.
Oh my gosh! You know what? I cannot. This brother right here. Let me just take a minute before I get into this mindfulness movement. This brother right here is, I cannot tell you, just a remarkable person. A beautiful heart, although he doesn't want people to know that. I've known him for, oh my God.
It's been some time.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I was a real Grinch back then. I was a proud Grinch. All they did was shave all the green hair off me, and this is what's left.
But you've evolved, as we both have, right? We both grown, and it's a beautiful thing.
Growth, yeah.
Always celebrate your friendships that you've had for years. Your friendships that you've had for 10, 15, 20 years. You know what I'm talking about? Because these are the people who've seen you grow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of people
see you fall and
get back up. You know what I mean? You really got to celebrate these friendships. And I know myself, I have a lot of friends out there, and we on Facebook from time to time or whatever, but I don't get on there a lot, and I really want to try to do better about that. Just to say hello or whatever. But I just embrace your connections, because they are sacred. They are meaningful. You have to celebrate those things. It feels good to be around people who know you and celebrate you.
I tried to celebrate my relationship with Puffy. We were real cool. I cut his hair a few times. He hasn't called me back. He unless he needs a haircut.
Okay. Well, Puff, you heard it from right here on Charlotte Black.
I know you, man. You acting like this. You ain't returning my calls.
Okay, real quick. The mindfulness movement. This is what I'm proposing that we do. As a group, as a collective, as a viewership. 5 minutes. 5 minutes out of each day in complete silence. I know. But this will calm your mind. No cell phone, no TV, just quiet. I know somebody is like, is she kidding me?
That means no radio, not even soft music.
Nothing. You can do it before you wake up in the morning. You can do it in your shower. If you got to go hide in your closet, girl, with them shoes, do it. 5 minutes. Complete silence. It's a mindfulness movement. If you are on board with me, I want you guys to send me a inbox. Charlotte Black. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. Simply C Black is what my tag name is on Instagram. Shoot me an inbox. Tell me how it's going. I would really love to see everybody get on this movement. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Tell me what your experience is. How'd your day go? Was it different from any other day? The challenge is to do it every day for 5 minutes. Just close your eyes. Your mind might race. Don't worry about it. Just sit there for 5 minutes. All right. I think that's it, y'all. That's all I got.
I hope it's only 5 minutes, because if it's more than that, I'm going to think they cut my power off.
Oh, my God.
I'm just saying.
I can't. Listen, thank you all for joining us today. I had a really great time. I look forward to seeing you again next Saturday at 11 a.m. Thank you to Mr. Dates for joining me. We'd like to see you come back. Well, we are going to have you back because he's got some projects we want to talk about, but we're not gonna put that out right now. But we will bring you back to talk about your project and how it's unfolding, and real excited about that.
I look forward to it, and the refreshments.
Okay. Listen, y'all, take care, be safe, and be good to yourselves. Love and light.